By being subscribed to SplashDash, our team is working relentlessly to give you the options to run whatever kind of reports you want in one software. And so instead of consulting with an agency, which is going to cost thousands of dollars, you can just consult with technology, and it's probably the technology they're using anyways.
Welcome back to the Just Build Baby Studio. You're listening to the BuildX Podcast, your ultimate guide to creating exceptional homes, innovative living spaces, and staying informed on all aspects of residential building technology. I'm your host, Buzz Arciano. Today, we're excited to have Ruan Marinho and Paul Munko in studios from SplashDash. SplashDash is an AI tool that creates fast visual reports for local SEO and ads and competitor insights. Ruan is the founder and CEO of SplashDash, and Paul is the marketing manager. Ruan and Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Buzz. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so we met, let's see, about a month ago, not even?
2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
It'll be 2 weeks. Wow. Okay, so we met 2 weeks ago. You were standing at the Impact show with your booth. I walked up and we started talking about SplashDash, and I'm proud to say I'm the first paying customer of SplashDash. Customer number one. I'll always be number one.
It happens so fast.
Well, when you said, I'm like, dude, I'm going to be customer one. How often do you get a chance to do that?
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's rare.
I felt like it was I'm on the ground floor of greatness.
It's like your first ADU project.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So I like to go backwards first before we talk about SplashDash. So maybe just take a few minutes, where you went to school, how you got interested in what you're doing, your history, and then we'll do the same for Paul, and then we'll kind of talk about everything SplashDash, and I have a whole bunch of questions there.
Yeah, so my dad had a painting business my whole life, so I was always in home service. Residential.
Yeah.
And he always struggled to get business because it was competitive. A lot of people were doing contracting, as you know, during the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And he needed a way to generate leads. And so he was doing print advertising. He was doing the paper. When I got out of college, I knew I didn't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I felt that I was always, every job I had, I worked harder than everybody.
Sure.
So I wanted to build something of my own. And so I came across an ad from somebody named Ty Lopez, which is an internet marketing guru. And he was teaching people how to do social media marketing. And so I learned from him, paid a lot of money to learn it, and then I implemented it on my dad's business. And then my dad started getting business, and I was like, okay, this works. So then
So wait, that's an awesome story, but let me break it down a little bit.
Sure.
So from the time you started doing things for him, how long before he saw results?
It was probably like 90 days.
So quick.
Yeah. Brand new website, brand new name.
So you refreshed the whole thing.
Yeah, he never had anything to start. So I need him something brand new.
You said, we're stripping everything away, brand new name, brand new website, new logo, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? New phone number or same phone number?
His cell phone number.
Okay, so cell phone number.
Yeah.
And then you started pounding. What did you go to first? So
SEO. Straight SEO.
Cool.
This was in 2018.
Cool. So just SEO at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. But it worked in 90 days.
Yeah, it worked very fast.
Wow, that's impressive.
And a big part of that was I aggressively got everybody to leave him reviews. And the other painters just weren't doing anything. So in the market, he looked better.
Yeah, it was easy to jump ahead because that's all you were doing, just pounding on it 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Brute force, as I like to say.
Yeah, bulldozer approach. So I did that. I grew Develomark, which is our marketing agency that's doing it.
Right, so the name of that again is?
Develomark.
Develomark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that is a $2 million a year business.
Okay.
And then we decided that...
So that started from...
my dad's business.
Yeah, so saying, I want to make sure my dad has work to became what it is today.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I like that.
And then as we continued to do more, we saw a need for simple reports. And so we have an engineering team of 3 now that we're bootstrapping. We don't have a loan. We don't have an investor. And we're building SplashDash on a weekly basis. So I went to Impact because I know Bob Ruffalo. He's the owner, one of the co-founders. And I set up a booth. I sponsored it. You came up to the booth. You paid $29. You became a customer. And now we're going to talk about SplashDash.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's pivot to Paul and find out his history and how you guys met and all that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. So Ruan and I actually went to school together. We both grew up in the same town in Connecticut. And he started Develomark probably about a year before I came on board. Ruan's always been on the strategic side of things. I've always been on sort of the creative side. I do a lot of illustration work, design work, things like that.
So that's where the knife making comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just one of the creative outlets for sure.
Yeah, so for anybody's looking for a cool knife, This is your guy.
Munko knives. There you go.
Munko knife. Shout out.
Thank you. And yeah, so that's always kind of been my primary thing. So when I first started at Develomark 6 years ago at this point, I was doing mostly design work, but then, I learned a lot through being here, and I do a lot of really management, client communications and things now. So I've been using SplashDash as a tool pretty much since we started working on it to help facilitate that communication and even make creative recommendations based on demographic data and things like that. So it's been really cool.
Wow. That's a great story. So tell me about the, where the beginnings of the idea came from SplashDash and, obviously starting something from scratch. It doesn't, so you had, obviously in the beginning, you had a trainer, if you will, to learn how to run marketing. So did you have a trainer for SplashDash or you just figured it out?
So any good software product has two things, product market fit and founders market fit. Product means people will buy it, and there's a clear use case for it, which is the hardest part. Founders market fit, which is interesting, is I see the need for it, and I would use it, and so I would pay for it. So we have both. So every time we had a meeting, like let's say BuildX came to Develomark and you were like, I'm interested in advertising. I have to go through all of this research to give you a good recommendation to make you feel good about spending money.
Got it.
And so with SplashDash, the goal was every time we have a meeting, we run a quick report, and now we know everything. We don't have to prepare as much, saving us time. The way I position that is if your agency can save time, if your company can save time, you're saving on payroll, you're saving on stress, you're most likely going to land the client. And so companies, that's the product market fit. They needed a quick way to generate this information without accessing all these different tools.
All right, so I'm going to break that down for the rest of it since I'm as smart as you. So it sounds like to me that if I own a digital marketing agency, that I also am interested in your product in SplashDash, because then I can help my clients by saying to them, this is where you're currently at, and this is how we can move the needle.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you got to think about it too. If I were to say BuildX, how much money do you think you should spend on Google Ads right now? Do you have an answer?
None.
Well, think about it. If you were, what would the answer be?
Zero.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't work.
Well, and that's the case, right? How much money you should spend is a data-driven decision.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just throw a dart and go from there.
100%. So I mean, that's never happened to me. Well, maybe once. So on the agency side, those are your also potential clients. Now, what about on the user side? Why do I need your software?
Well, if you're going to market your business, which it looks like you do a lot, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 logos in sight.
You think it's too many?
No, I think it's just enough.
I was writing this.
I think it's just enough. You may want it because you may have a marketing professional working at the company. You're a marketing professional as well. You don't want to pay for a several amount of tools just to get one answer for something. So by being subscribed to SplashDash, our team is working relentlessly to give you the options to run whatever kind of reports you want in one software. And so instead of consulting with an agency, which is going to cost thousands of dollars, you can just consult with the technology, and it's probably the technology they're using anyways.
Yeah, 100%. They're probably subscribed to your software.
Correct.
Right. So I might as well subscribe to it.
Correct.
Which I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. So, but tell me about what it took to get it to where it is today. I mean, obviously, I know you're going to give me some training on it today.
Sure.
Which I need. But I've definitely spent some time with it and run a bunch of reports, and I quite frankly don't know what all of them mean. So there probably has to be a video series saying, hey, when you see this, this means that.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
giving you some homework.
Of course. Yeah.
Right? So but tell me about when you started building it. Did you know exactly where you wanted to go with it, or did you said, okay, I'm going to try this and try that? Like, give me the story. Give me the backstory.
Like you with BuildX, you have this vision in your head that you can see, but it's blurry. And so every day you get a little bit more of the canvas painted out. With SplashDash, we know what we want long term, which is for a user to talk to their phone and SplashDash generate real time the data that they need, no matter how big the report is.
So the one I'm on now is version 1.0 or 1.2 or whatever it is.
Correct. And so for us to get to that version was a ton of blood, sweat, and tears.
I bet.
Because when you use a software product, you assume, oh, it's so simple. But you have no idea, like with the SQL databases and things like that, It's a lot of work. And so initially what we were doing is in ChatGPT, you were able to talk with SplashDash, which was our first idea.
Okay.
The problem with that is as I mentioned last night, I'm an AI pessimist. And so I think that there's a large potential of ChatGPT just doing what every software does. And so we decided to take it off of the platform and make it our own, giving us proprietary information. Because if it was in ChatGPT, why can't ChatGPT just start doing what we're doing? That's a big fear for a lot of people in our industry.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Not only that, but you don't know if it's going to just, decide its own metrics too.
Hallucinate, right?
Right, hallucinate, whatever the term is for that. I've seen it go sideways.
Right.
Yeah, like I said to you last night, I ran a deep, what is it called? Deep search?
Deep research.
Yeah, deep research for myself, and it skipped a lot of stuff that I was surprised. That's, like the sale of the business and a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like,
Yeah.
And it's not like these are hidden things, because if I do a regular Google search, they all come up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised that it skipped so many things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that fear of ChatGPT doing everything is what led us to create the platform.
So my biggest thing with chat, and in the next because they're not making money with it right now, right? So at some point they're going to monetize it and say to you, hey, SplashDash, if you were on that platform, we see that you've built this, engine or bot or whatever it is, we need whatever, 20% of your revenue.
Mm-hmm. Take it. Sounds good. As long as they bring us users, right?
No, I understand, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
I do get
you gotta be careful with that.
Right. That's what Apple did.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people hate it.
Right.
And they've created a monopoly. But monopolies are good because they create good products.
Sometimes. But I think there's a real chance, we're going to go way off topic here, but I think there's a real chance that chat's going to really disrupt Google's business.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how real this number is, but they were telling us an impact that 60 to 70% of search now is done inside of something like AI. It's not done in Google anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how real that is, but
Very real.
It's very true. I mean, I think most of the people I know, even my parents, like they're using AI to get quicker results for certain things. And I think, I don't know when it's going to happen, but as soon as ChatGPT has the ability to run an ad through GPT the same way that you would or a Google PPC ad, it's game over, right?
yeah, 100%. And so the question is though, and I agree with you 100%. And obviously they talked about an impact, but do they, at that point, do they only show the one person, or do they still show the organic search, kind of like Google does?
Mm-hmm.
They put the paid ad on top, and then they show the research, or they just say, "This is the person that's paying us. There's a hit. We've decided they're the best, and you get one choice."
Yeah, I feel like they would need to still show some of those organic results because I think that the actual user, if they're only seeing sponsored content, is going to not trust it. That's true.
They'll have to disclaimer it.
If they have to.
Why?
It's a law.
You sure?
Yeah.
Even for them?
Even for them.
Okay. Because I feel like when they get to that model, I don't think they're going to show a lot of ads. I think they're going to show one, and that cost per click is going to be like
High.
$300, $400.
It might not even be per click. It might be per impression.
Ooh.
So think about this, right? There's a report in SplashDash called ChatGPT Visibility, and it searches.
I ran that. Yeah.
It searches you 100 times, different ways people might find.
Yeah, I was running at 25, but yeah.
Right. The problem is very inconsistent. Google has so much data on local, and it has the Google Maps, and it has Waze. It has so much YouTube information. It's going to be a big dominant player in AI no matter what.
Got it.
ChatGPT is going to be good for people like me who are developing. That's where I think they're going to make a ton of their money. Google's going to be where people find local stuff for AI because they have that data. If you search ChatGPT,
you feel like Google's going to catch up with their AI search? I see it now already, but you think that's going to really accelerate and people are going to go back there rather than going to chat to start reading the information in the Google platform?
I think so. I think for things like what are the best knives, I think for things like, anything that's not local, ChatGPT is going to be dominant in. That doesn't mean people aren't using it, but Google has so much data already. There's a new AI algorithm that came out. It's called Nano Banana, and it is the best image generator you could ever find. And Google has the best video generator. If you look at ChatGPT's image and ChatGPT's video, it's garbage compared to Google's.
Yeah.
Because its training data set is so big that Google's products are just going to be better long term. And by the way, The way Google handled this whole AI situation was the most professional thing I've ever seen in my life. They had a major rival come out and go, we tried to be three, world's going crazy. Google just sat calmly. Everyone's saying Google's going to fail, this and this and this, but they're slowly beginning to rise again. They handled it very well.
Interesting.
So they're going to be two very different.
You have $1 trillion in the bank.
And data. A lot of data.
A lot of data. A lot of data.
So,
all right, well, let's go back to SplashDash. So you had the dream, and you decided not to be on the chat platform. Or you started in ChatGPT, and you said, this is no good. We don't want to be on here. They're going to have hooks in us.
correct.
And so then what do you do then? You have your own AI creation?
So we basically what SplashDash does is we send a bot out into the internet to grab a bunch of information with these paid tools that we have access to and free tools like the U.S. Census Bureau, which you pay taxes to have. And so we might as well utilize it. And then it takes it, AI cleans it, and then it serves you that front end dashboard that you see.
It's a different AI than chat.
It's using chat, it's using Gemini, it's using some of these different
Oh, so you
tools.
train another bot to manipulate the other bots.
Correct. Because I don't have $1 trillion, so.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Hey, $29 at a time. I mean,
I just need 50 million users.
that's it. That's it. Hey, you got to start somewhere.
That's true. Hey, we're at 200.
No way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so it's not bad.
I can say I knew him when. Next time you're buying lunch then.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So the bot is run by who? It's another third party that you subscribe to?
It's a scraper that we made.
So you made this thing.
Yeah, so it basically will talk to the different APIs, which is another topic of conversation, the internet just becoming a bunch of APIs, and there's no website. But there's a bunch of different APIs, and SplashDash talks to all of them and then brings the data back, and then that's how we curate the information, and AI enhances it. So the AI model is just ChatGPT, but how we're gathering it is what's proprietary about.
So it's still running through chat, but you go get the information yourself first, and then you put it in there and say, do this with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because if I said, hey, chat, guess all this information, it's not going to be accurate.
So it's not going to use all the sources you want to use.
Exactly.
So your proprietary information is to train your machine to go look at this and this and this and this and this and this.
Correct.
And how are you validating the data? Like how you know that it's real?
So SplashDash isn't validating any data because we're just buying the data.
Okay.
So Experian, TransUnion, Ahrefs, Moz, SEMrush, U.S. Census, those are the companies validating the data. We're just organizing it for you.
Right. So I don't have to subscribe to 52 things and try to run all these reports and figure out a way to put in some pivot table and turn it into something.
And that's why it's $29 because we're not doing that hard work to get that data. That's very expensive.
Right. Yeah.
So
You're farming their data and then packaging it in a way that I can understand it.
yeah, curating it. And the difference between curation is what you decide to remove. So when you look at a museum and you look at the walls and you look at the art that's there, they had 10,000 options to put up on that wall, but they only put up 4. And the reason for that is it's curated. And so with SplashDash, the goal is simplicity. So every time we want to show you data, let's say in the future, you go into SplashDash, you connect your Google Analytics. You want to see how much traffic you're getting from ChatGPT. We're just going to show you that. We're not going to show you all the other stuff in analytics. It's confusing. So we're curating what you're seeing in there.
Wow. And then what if a customer comes in and says, I need my dashboard customized. Is that available to them?
So like putting the BuildX logo on it?
Yeah, that and just saying, I want to look at this specific data. Can you build me a report for this data?
It depends on what it would be, but there's most likely a use case for that. As long as one promise I made for myself with SplashDash is Develomark is a service business. So we have to talk to the customer, interview them, deliver a service, customer service. The goal with SplashDash is to become pretty much autonomous.
Got it. So it's going to be, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yeah. And if you do get upset, let us know about it. We might do something about it if it's big enough of an issue.
Yeah, so if you hear from 100, if you hear from 50% of your users, we want to see this thing, then you're probably going to add it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and one of the big things that we also want to do is really build a community about it. And I know we talked a little bit about Reddit last night and some different places.
Wow.
Yeah,
Reddit is do more Reddit.
That's wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So building a community around it, paying
I
attention.
didn't make an account last night.
Good.
Did you scroll through it all?
No.
That's step
I
2.
did make an account.
That's good. That's progress.
Whatever ADU group there is, and just go hard.
Yeah. Well, we So he did a couple different BuildX ones, and then I did. My handle is the ADU expert.
Perfect. Love it.
So that when you see that in there, that's me.
Yeah, we got to get this karma up ASAP. We got to get your karma up.
My Reddit karma.
Yeah, it's got to go up.
Oh man.
And I'm going to tell you guys why. It's like really important. Like when I was looking at the stuff that was on the screen, if you noticed, my name had a middle initial on it. And I didn't tell you my middle initial. AI just knew I had that middle initial because I make sure to include it in all of the things I talk about online.
Interesting. Why?
Well, because think about it. When you think of the name Donald Trump, you think of Donald J. Trump. Most people don't even know his middle name, but they know the J is there. When you add the middle name, you give yourself more real estate. And there's so many Ruan Marinos in the world. There's only one Ruan M Marino. So I'm conscious about how I'm talking about my brand online because I know AI is going to pick it up. So when we write a script or when ChatGPT, someone does something about my business, I'm communicating information I want.
Got it.
So I'm controlling the narrative with what I'm putting out there.
So thankfully, I'm the only Buzz Artiano.
Correct.
Thankfully.
What's your middle initial?
M.
Buzz M Artiano sounds better.
So in that theory, I should go by my legal name, which is Vittorio.
Vittorio?
Bittorio.
Where does Buzz come from?
My mother gave me that when I was 2 days old.
Oh, that's cool.
So 1 Zito, don't forget.
So you have a government name and then
I have a government name and I got a nickname, AKA, also known as. No, my middle name is Maria, after my grandmother.
Love it. Italian?
It is.
Yeah. So Paul's built his whole business on Reddit, the knives.
Yeah, 100%.
Whole business.
Well, we're gonna pivot to that. So hold on to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about some SplashDash first.
Yeah.
A little bit more. Then we're gonna pivot to other businesses, and I want to talk about Develomark too. So you're like an onion. I gotta unpeel you.
Hopefully you don't cry.
Yeah, we had a couple of tears, but it was tears of joy. So we don't go for tears of pain.
Yeah.
So you built SplashDash for yourself. Was that name in your head to begin with, or you just decided that was a good name? Like, take me through that beginnings of, I want to build this thing. Here's the name, or was it I want to build this thing, and then you started thinking about the name?
So it's so funny that you asked that because the name is a desired name. So I paid $11,000 for the domain recently.com, and I was using the AI prior to that.
No, I've like AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a month ago, I bought the domain for $11K. And I bought it because I knew someone was just going to keep price gouging the moment they knew my goals with it.
Sure, 100%.
Right? And the name is very simple. Splash, you go in, you create a report, and then you dash. I don't want users spending their life in the platform. I see it as a transactional thing where they go in, get what they want, and leave. Very similar to, your ChatGPT conversation. You go in, get what you want, and leave. You're not spending all day in there. And so
people out.
Right. That's where the name really came from. Now I've heard that it could be a good name for a dating app. I've heard a good name for a robot dating service. I've heard a lot of this stuff.
Well, listen, if the SplashDash thing doesn't work out, you can always pivot to the robots.
You got the IP. Yeah,
You've got the domain now, so that's all that matters.
But speaking about another thing about the name, when you said that we built it for ourselves, there's a famous Nintendo designer who created Mario, and he helped propel Nintendo into a crazy business. And he would create the games for himself,
right?
Which is a lot different than user testing, focus testing, looking at groups. He's genuinely seeing, do I like using this product?
Yeah.
And if he does, he keeps building it.
And so that's where this came from.
Yeah.
So this is a Nintendo birth.
Yeah.
Not a user birth.
Right.
Interesting. But it wasn't obviously always called SplashDash. From day one, it wasn't. It existed before the name. What did you call it before that?
It was always SplashDash.
From day one.
Yeah.
Wow.
We tried to build it before and it didn't work. And then we built it now and now it's working because AI is just like.
So you were too early in the AI world to get the tool to do what you wanted to do.
I'm so glad I did not build it when I was trying to build it. I would have wasted a ton of time and money, and AI just came at the right time.
Right. Because this is technically what, our third or fourth iteration?
Second iteration.
Second?
Wow.
Well, third iteration.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating, right?
It is. And you think about, are you familiar with the Grand Theft Auto game series? So Grand Theft Auto 6 keeps getting pushed back, right? And they're not going to release it now because the consoles are changing. pretty soon there's going to be no console.
Yeah.
So why is Grand Theft Auto going to release on something that's going away? We're trying to push it to the future. So I'm sure they're experiencing a similar thing. So it's okay to wait to build because you want to find the right opportunity to do so.
Yeah. And so what's the danger in that? You wait too long and you get behind the technology curve, or it doesn't matter?
There's a lot of reports on LinkedIn right now that people feel overwhelmed with how much new AI stuff is coming out.
Oh, I can attest to that.
Right, me too. And so every day there's a new groundbreaking feature that you can use in one of the 10 AI softwares. They're all competing, right? And so the danger is that someone builds something before you, similar idea. We're yet to see a SplashDash competitor come up. Once we do, we'll know the idea is validated because somebody they tried to copy it, and so that's good for me to see.
Yeah.
So that's the danger of it, is somebody getting to market before you. But that doesn't always mean the product's going to be better.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've seen that in many things. You know, the newest and greatest isn't always maybe the newest, but it might not be the greatest.
Right. And so I'm going for sustainability.
100%. And so you have a team of 3 engineers working on it, you said?
Full-time in the office.
Full-time, just on Splash.
American engineers.
There you go. I love that.
Put a tariff on overseas work.
So they're working full-time, and so you have a rollout schedule of things you want to fix, or is it you just fixing as you're going? Like, what's the vision? Where do we get to? What happens next? What's like the next version going to do?
So right now, the version that we have now is an input-output report. The next version is going to be very ChatGPT-like, where it's going to generate based on your conversation, and then at the end, if you want to save it, you can. So if you're having a conversation about BuildX, I want to come up with a strategy to reach more ADU customers. And then SplashDash will go, okay, here's what you need to know. And then you're going to go, how much should I spend on Facebook to do so? And then it's going to go, okay, here's what you should do. Here's what the ads should look like. Here's what the video should look like. So it's going to be generating the report for you.
Now, so that's fantastic, but are you rolling in the endless customers training to it?
It's a conversation we're having with Impact, but at this time, no.
Interesting.
We've talked about co-branding a report inside of there.
Yeah.
Because to build one of those reports takes us about 3 days. So we could really do a lot.
Wow. So pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what, like $5,000, $10,000?
In payroll?
Yeah.
Probably much less than that.
Okay.
Because that's one engineer.
Oh, one person, 3 days.
So I could,
a couple, $3,000 and you're up and running.
Right. The trick though is it's easy for me to get excited, but then as you know with project management, that's where we lose a lot of our money.
Yeah.
Because we say, hey, make this feature, and then there's a bunch of issues with it, and now you created more problems. So I'm taking a slow approach.
Yeah, no, I agree. You can't always move too fast because you're going to break things, and then, 2 other things are broken because that thing's broken, and then it snowballs, and then, and all of a sudden the report is showing you Mickey Mouse stuff, and, Donald Duck stalking you through the screen. Man, you got the Wile E. Coyote in there.
Yeah.
Saying you can't catch me.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, but what's the long-term vision? What, beyond the ChatGPT, what's the next version? Where do you see it in the future?
So I see it as
we're getting this on the record for when you're up there on stage taking your Emmy Award with your $5 million subscribers, and I want to play this for the audience and say this. He had this vision in 2024.
I love it, and I will be referencing this video, I'm sure, when that happens.
All right, good.
Definitely.
So take me into the future.
So I'll take you to next year in
Okay.
October. So October of next year.
Okay.
We're going to apply for something called the Y Combinator.
Yeah,
You familiar?
I am.
Which basically is an incubator for tech startups, and specifically now AI products. And so by October of next year, our full AI product will be out, because right now it's like a half AI product. And so from there, we're going to apply to YC. If we get granted, they'll give us cash to keep building it, which honestly we don't even need, but that's part of the program. And then
Let's take the cash.
Yes, always close the deal.
Yeah, take the cash.
Take the cash. So they take 7% equity at that point.
7%. Okay.
They fly our team out to San Francisco.
Yeah.
We spend 3 months there building it.
3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the redwoods,
So this is intense.
Yeah. And then at that point, at that 3-month mark, it's figuring out how can we get it to be an actual game-changing product.
Wow.
So hopefully.
So we're 16 months away from big time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of strategy with that. So every day we're coming up with how we're going to get in. It's not just going to happen by luck.
No.
We're not just going to trip into Y Combinator. That doesn't happen.
No, there's a lot of competition, I'm sure.
Ton. Thousands of applications a day.
Really?
Yeah.
That many?
Yeah. 2% acceptance rate. So it's
2%.
Harvard.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
And I believe in you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So that's the year goal. Long term, it is, of course, to build a business that is so successful people are interested in purchasing it.
Right.
And then after that, maybe I'll start a farm that's built by and managed by robotics.
I can see that.
Everyone needs water. Not everyone needs SplashDash.
Okay.
Not tap water either. No chlorine.
Yeah, that was bad last night, that tap water.
You could taste it.
Man, that was...
No pH, all dead.
I'll tell you what, though, if I was sick at all, that killed it. That cleaned me out. If I had any stomach virus or anything, that killed it out. That was. I'm glad we switched to the pan of water. So, all right. So let's go back to the early days of Develomark and talk about, obviously it was just you on day one.
Yeah.
Right. And so who was the next person?
So it was a guy, his name was Tom, and he's no longer with us. He started his own company, which was very similar. A couple people that have worked with me have done that just because.
Yeah, they spun off.
Yep. And they started doing their own thing. And they're doing well. They took what they learned and created their own version, which is cool.
Sure.
And then came Paul, which was like the next wave of people. We needed a graphic designer. I was not a graphic designer. I was always a technical person.
Got it.
Paul was a good graphic designer, so I knew him. So I hired him part-time for minimum wage at the time. Oh, yeah. Very different now. But we were young, I was 24.
Yeah.
So,
Baby Ruan,
making a ton of mistakes, not calling people back, right?
We're going to talk about that.
Missed expectations.
Yeah.
Just terrible business acumen. But I was passionate, and people saw that, and so they bought it. And so I helped a lot of people, but there was also a lot of people that I didn't help at all. So I was always quick to never make it about the money and always about making it what was right for the customer. And so I have a philosophy, and everyone can challenge this, that the customer is always right. That's a huge debate. And the way that I see it is, if the customer's not right, they're not your customer anyways.
Yeah. 100%.
And you have to set the expectation with them. So if they're not right, you set the wrong expectation. So the perfect Develomark customer is always right. The perfect SplashDash user is always right. If I attracted the wrong user, that's not my customer. So that's why they're not right.
Yeah, that's why they make vanilla and chocolate ice cream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to consider this, you can have a business with customers. You can't have a business with just employees. So you really got to make the customer first. We're doing this for them. So that mindset, that path.
Listen, nothing happens if you don't have sales.
Exactly.
I mean, that's, we were talking about that last night, you just got to go out and sell something.
Yes.
Right. And you got to make sure you add value and go sell them something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and so primarily your customers are service-based customers.
Yeah.
HVAC, electricians, painters.
Yep. Dentists, lawyers.
So
doctors.
So B2C is their business model.
Right. We do very little B2B. However, we have some very good B2B customers. Like manufacturing is a good example.
Interesting.
People that make small components, sell them in the thousands. SEO is so easy for them. SEO for ADU is like the easiest thing on the planet because you're so narrowed in.
Right. Interesting. So so what's your team make up now? How many, not counting the 3 engineers, what's the team?
The marketing, 11 people.
11, wow.
So me, Paul, Isaac does all the videography. Paul does all the photography and graphic design, creative and account management. And then I do the digital strategy. So how is this customer going to get more performance?
Right. And then what's your business model? Are they paying for results or they're paying for, like, what does that look like when someone's working with you?
It's a year contract and they're paying a flat retainer.
Okay.
And then we recommend an advertising budget and where that's going to go based on the business model.
And you control the marketing spend, the pay-per-click or whatever it is, you control that spend?
Correct. We manage it. They have access to it.
Understand.
And then, they own it.
And then you're having once a month meetings with them every 2 weeks?
It's usually just like on the fly communications.
Okay.
If we schedule something, it's scheduled through a calendar system. But here's what I found about systems. You can have the most fanciest CRM. You can have the most fanciest booking system. Just talk to the customer.
Imagine that.
Call them.
Imagine that.
There doesn't need to be this big, beautiful automation.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're big into texting and calling.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Voice drops. Super helpful.
Voice drop.
Mhm.
Interesting. So you leave a voice message on their text.
Yes. It's so effective.
And you say what? Like what?
Jason, good morning, checking in. Just wanted to let you know the new ad is live. We added 3. We sent an email. Go check it out. Something like that.
Okay. Not a video drop, just a voice drop.
Again, just overly systemizing something that doesn't need to be systemized.
Yeah. Interesting. And so you're doing the graphic design for their ad. You're doing the copy. 100%. So that's on your plate.
Yeah,
That's on Paul's plate.
Yeah, so for me, we have a team of web and graphic designers that help us all those things as well. A lot of the times I'll handle a lot of the initial creative direction for a project like that, and then I'm able to work with the team and help them kind of develop a cadence of specific advertisements. And we were talking about yesterday, a lot of what I do is like brand development. So I'll come up with a whole brand system where it's the logo and the messaging and how what types of assets and colors and palettes should be used for things. And then I'll give that to our team members to be able to replicate that for specific things, whether it's a Meta ad or a Google ad or the design of the website, even kind of all pulls from that brand guide.
Interesting.
Which, by the way, you have a great logo.
Thank you.
I love your logo. Yeah.
That's good. That works out because I love it too. So let's talk about that. So someone listening to this that has a service-based business and they're not happy with their logo or their SEO people or their pay-per-click or whatever it is. So you'll actually do a brand refresh for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you'll rip it apart, new website, new logo, new color palette. Like this is your new look, if you will. And now obviously that's a fee for that. But tell me about that process. Do you have like an intensive meeting with them to kind of figure out where they're at? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, definitely. So if somebody is interested in starting from the very beginning, which would be a brand refresh, because sometimes clients will come to us and we'll be starting with, we want a website and marketing. We like our brand. Let's just start from there. And that's totally fine. If we're getting really into this whole brand refresh cycle, what I'll do is take them through an extensive interview first. And what's really important is to see first what their thought process was when creating whatever their current brand is. It could just be John Smith Plumbing, for example. And that's okay. You don't really have a brand. Easier starting point. But sometimes people had an idea. They were passionate about it. It just didn't translate well to the market. And so I like to dissect that, kind of see, okay, this is based on the experience I've had with other people, with other companies, like this is the type of messaging that resonates well with your type of service. Let's move forward with something similar to that.
Oh, okay. So you're using your empirical knowledge to kind of coach them to say, hey, we have 52 plumbers and this is what kind of works.
Exactly. And we want to make sure that it is that person's identity, because we're not just going to copy and paste something, but it's really important to just see, what makes a brand work well. A lot of times it's simplicity. Sometimes people will come to us with a logo and it's like an illustration. Yeah. And you can't embroider that. You can't do a bunch of stuff. That's not going to work. Exactly. So figuring out where those gaps are and then taking them through an extensive process of, here's 4 to 6 logo concepts, right? Based on what we've decided on brands that you like and companies that you like, and also what you don't like. Because it's just important to see what's on that side of the spectrum and not to go in that direction. And then we'll take them to that refinement process where we end up with just that logo that they enjoy, that they really are passionate about, and move into the brand guide and things like that too. Because with the logo, one of the most important parts of that process, I feel like, is, well, really the part of any process, right, is listening. You need to understand what they actually want to see, because you need to see the BuildX logo every morning and be like excited, like I'm gonna go work on BuildX tonight. Because if you're not happy with it, you're not motivated. So getting them to that point and then building a brand message and voice around that is how we like to go about it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so so from a dead start, okay, hello, I need help. What's that look like, time frame to get to the point where you're actually, I have what I need and now I'm starting to generate leads? Like, what's a realistic time frame for somebody?
Yeah, so typically, as long as our average approval, process goes well with the logo design, That could typically be about a month. And then right from that point, once we have that logo approved, is when we're able to move into the actual development of the website based on that brand guide. Website development typically will take about 6 to 8 weeks. A big piece of that is going out and getting media. Our focus is very local right now, which is great because we could go there and get the videos we need and get the photos that we need to really showcase.
Wait a minute, wait. I didn't understand that. So you're actually trying to work with companies that are close by, so you can send people out to take video to add that into the mix.
Exactly.
Like 95% of our business is in Connecticut.
Really? So you're very concentrated in one area.
Yeah, and it's
But that's good for people to know that, you're actually close by and you're going to help them, personally.
right.
Personally.
Because one of the things too, and even if you think about the logo and how that translates to those things, is people are so used to what a stock image looks like now, they can see that a mile away. So if you go to a website, it's all stock images. You don't see actual branded trucks or shirts, or again, you guys are great at that. Your conversion rates are way lower because you appear essentially as like a fly-by-night company. It's all stock images. So being able to design your brand, then take images and videos of your brand in use and in practice just makes your whole presence much more trustworthy.
Yeah. And so controversial topic. So where are you on the cartoon character on the plumber side of the truck with the million graphics versus a simple logo?
Honestly, I think that those are really eye-catching, and whenever I think of that, I've done a couple of brand projects where we do incorporate mascots as well. I actually just did one recently for a painting company.
Not my dad's.
Not his dad's. But I like them. I think you just need to have that clear separation of like, this is the logo. That is an asset we could use. So we could put it on a billboard. Like, people can get used to seeing this, but you still need to have that simplified thing that you could put on a sign. Yeah. You could embroider on a shirt or a hat or something like that. They're cool. They're engaging. I think you have to make sure it doesn't look like the same one that everybody else uses. It should be custom and not just like a stock character. But it has a use. I don't think it should be a logo, but it could be a brand tool, essentially.
Yeah, interesting. I think they look cartoonish. I think they make it look very unprofessional. My personal opinion. When I see the little guy with the hammer or the guy with the paintbrush, or it's like a cartoon type thing.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think it depends completely on the market that you're going for. Specifically, like if a lot of higher end homes obviously won't be using something like a Mascot. Right, that's the type of build outs they're doing.
But like a drain cleaning.
Yeah, like I've seen a bunch of those. I've seen a bunch of painters.
Yeah.
HVAC.
Yeah.
Electrical. A little guy holding a spark.
They're sparky.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It must work, though. I mean, obviously, there's some big brands with cartoon characters. So, I guess what I've been told, their theory is it appeals to the woman buyer. So I don't know how true that is, but to me, I personally don't like the look of it. But again, that's why they make vanilla and chocolate, right?
Exactly.
So it sounds like from a cold start to being refreshed is 3 months.
I would say about that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And obviously a lot of communication, and some of that you're waiting for them to make decisions. Now you're helping them with the copy as well on their website and what it says.
All of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then what else do? You help them generate the ads? Do you post on Reddit for them? Like, what else do you do for them?
Yeah. So we really focus. Our process is basically branding, website, and then once that website is completed, we move into our ongoing services. A ton of advertising. Yeah. So predominantly Google and Meta, so Facebook and Instagram. That is I'd say most of what we do ongoing, because we're able to really monitor that. We could track where things are coming from organically. Of course, we do ongoing search engine optimization, content creation on the website, but that's the majority of it.
Yeah, they've done a lot of research in different universities like MIT and stuff like that, where if you show a user an ad and you show a user in organic, they don't know, they don't care. The brain doesn't care. It's to use BuildX. And so we work with businesses in Connecticut that spend millions of dollars on billboards. And so many people are like, oh, billboards don't work, right? But to the user, to the person driving, they see BuildX, and that was an impression, right? And so you can get impressions while you're sleeping by running ads.
100%.
You can't post all night on Reddit. We'll stay up all night. So like the organic is great. It's a long-term strategy, but for clients that want results ASAP, it's just spending a ton of money on ads to one single landing page with good creative.
Interesting.
Like, it really doesn't have to be more complicated.
Yeah. So the ad is driving people to a landing page.
A single page.
For the call to action.
Exactly. And I would say even, thinking about that concept of, maybe there's people who won't trust a sponsored ad or something. If they click it, and again, now they're on this beautiful website where you have...
Yeah, they forget about how they got there.
Exactly. As long as your website's trustworthy, they immediately forget.
And the creative.
Yeah, the creative's super important.
Mm-hmm. So one note about this, and I think your video guys are going to like hearing this, is that
maybe
anybody, right? Anybody on the planet right now can go into ChatGPT and write an article about why we're the best ADU builders. Anybody can do that. Not everybody's going to do the hard work to go to one of the open houses, make a video that's scripted, interview some of your customers, and bake that into one video and run it as an ad and spend $10K a month on it.
Right.
So automatically, you're just pushing the whole C out and going straight for the kill. So you want to start focusing the brand on things that AI can't easily do. Similar with SplashDash. AI can't take wonderful pictures of your team working like you guys do on social. That's an activity that's valued. So I think when you said last night, I don't hire SEO people anymore because they just take my money. I don't know what they're doing with it. I think the right move for a company of your stature is to hire people internally that are going to do the activities AI can't do. Because over time, why go to the BuildX website when I could just search it in AI?
Got it. It's hard to know who's going to be the winners and the losers right now in this AI race.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT is definitely a winner. The moment their stock goes public, buy as much as you can.
Okay.
Because they're going to be in every robot on the planet.
Wow. I guess we should have gotten in early, huh?
Yeah. Well,
I'm still kicking myself.
invite only.
Yeah, I'm still kicking myself about not getting into the Reddit IPO because I had the invite to it and I missed an email. And huge bummer.
And how much has it gone up?
My God.
It's obnoxious. Yeah.
It was when the announcement came out. 61% of AI searches had a Reddit.
Oh, it went.
Yeah. And then Google paid them $50 million for training data. And
Yeah, I missed that boat.
so, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I will say about Reddit.
Because of the email.
What it could have, should have.
Yeah.
You,
Right there.
You want to be conscious of how you're responding in Reddit. Because if you're giving somebody a paragraph of a response, you want to sprinkle in I'm an ADU expert in this area. Because as the algorithm starts picking you up, it'll reference that in GPT.
Dude, there's some crazy stuff. There's so many little nuances to this stuff. But let's get back to Develomark. So now we're working together, and I'm just going to you're working with a local electrician in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. And so he, she, they say to you, we want this many leads a month. Mm-hmm. You can say to them, okay, that's going to cost roughly this much on an ad spend. Mm-hmm. Do you have that empirical knowledge to say that?
SplashDash. And so that's where we go into SplashDash. We do a competitive overview report, and we go, you're 250% above average in reviews in your market. We can guarantee this. If they're under 250% reviews, if they're under a photo shoot, they don't look as good as their competition. There's brand work to do. Let's not run ads. It's not going to work.
Okay, so you're going to coach them on what needs to happen before you spend money on ads.
Exactly. Because think of it, put yourself in the homeowner's shoes.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if they are good to run ads, then we run the ad budget simulator, and that tells us exactly what to spend in their area.
And that's in SplashDash? Wow.
It's usually pretty accurate.
Really?
And then we'll use the local ad spend intelligence inside of SplashDash to show them what their competitors are running, just to give them a sense of what homeowners are looking at.
Right.
And then from there, we have a concrete strategy. We've gone to making websites that are just one page. And so once the brand stuff's done, once the media stuff's done, the website is super fast. And then from there, we
So one landing page, just a one-page landing.
Yeah.
Lander.
On the price.
Is there a video in it, or it's just a static?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Is the owner talking or someone else?
Always the owner.
Okay.
Because if there's churn, you can't use the video anymore.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah.
And how much trouble have you had with getting the owners on video?
We haven't had much friction with it, thankfully. We coach them and let them know that it's your brand. If you put someone else in this video and we can't use it in the future, we want to make evergreen content because you want to save money, right?
Sure.
You don't want to waste money.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we use paid actors when we make videos too. So Develomark will create these high impact 30-second commercials, like a Serve Pro ad for our clients local. and we'll buy a bunch of paid actors to be in the ads, because if they sign a video release form, we could use it forever.
Yeah, and they've given up their rights to their image.
And you could do that right on Craigslist. We do it on Craigslist.
Yeah, we did a little bit of that last year. It didn't work. We had a try at doing an ADU, emotional video, but it just didn't work out. But it's not off the table.
Right. And we have a director that handles it all, and then Isaac shoots it and edits it. So we have a talent website, and actors just fill out the form.
Yeah.
We have like an FBI board with all their faces. So whenever we want to do a new ad, we see like, oh yeah, pick Letitia, pick John, So we have like a list of people already that we could just cast to. And that took us a little bit to build.
Sure, I bet.
They're all great though. It's so nice to be able to pull from that bucket.
I don't want to be on camera. They're like, no, put me on camera. The employees of the company, in our company too, they don't want to be on camera sometimes. So
It also creates less friction and downtime of actually needing the employees to dedicate their time to being in content.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. So everybody here knows they're all going to be in video. So
yeah.
And Chris has been running around with his little mini camera, just getting him used to answering questions. I think last week was, if you were on a desert island, who's the one person you would take with you, or for survival, or something like that. So just.
What was your answer?
I was taking my son Cole.
Fair.
Yeah. But he was standing right next to me, sir. I think it's still a valid answer, though. But I agree with you. It does take time for people to get used to being on camera.
Oh yeah.
Not everybody's comfortable on camera, and it takes a while. And what I tell everybody is, you just need to start.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't a leap for me. I'd done a bunch of things before that it didn't. It never occurred to me not to do it. I just didn't have the right environment before, or the need to. So, because in my last business, the marketing was just, belly to belly marketing. It was handshakes and chasing fires, and, there wasn't, it probably was a use case for it, but, I was just so busy doing what I was doing. I didn't, we couldn't have taken any more work.
Well, think about it too. I mean, when you were in that business, the Chrome browser had just come out. And so there was no retargeting.
Yeah.
There was just ads. Now you could retarget someone about anything. So retargeting has made marketing way better.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of people say that they have all these privacy issues, when in reality, we want an internet that's relevant, that's serving us ads that we're interested in. Because if you went on the internet today and you got served an ad of something that you absolutely have no interest in, you'd be frustrated. So we actually like giving up our privacy. And so brands need to play to that. If someone searches for an ADU expert in their area, they better start seeing BuildX ads. That's the right thing to do for that user.
Got it. It's interesting. And so getting back to the electrician, so as they're working with you, are you ramping it up and down? Are you pretty much steady? How do they work with you? How does the customer work with you?
So we look at every lead that they get that comes in, and we share it with them. And that is usually through a text message, just to keep the momentum going. The moment we get a client, we strike a match, and that flame, it dwindles if we let it. And so if we want to keep the flame going, we're communicating all the micro successes they're having, so that when we ask to increase budget, or when we ask, hey, you're doing Google, start doing Facebook, start doing Reddit, start doing this, they're okay with it and they trust us.
Oh, so once they're getting success with the paid ads, then you start the more nuanced work,
or recommend different platforms.
Okay.
So that's more people they can reach. YouTube ads, that's a big one.
So you just start ramping that up.
Yes. And then we say, hey, Buzz, you got 112 leads this year. Last year, you got 86. That's this percentage growth. We should spend this much more next month to beat last year. So we're looking year over year always, because of seasonality, which we'll talk about in SplashDash. Because there's a seasonality report you can run for any industry and quickly see what.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that training session today. And I'm looking forward to seeing your next version. It's going to be a wild next 2 years, I think, in this whole AI race with ChatGPT and Claude, and who knows who else is going to burst them, Gemini, and
DeepSeek.
Yeah, DeepSeek. And who else is going to come on the scene? So now I'm going to go back to the electrician. So now I'm working and so like, what's an average spend for somebody that wants to really, work with you and get good results? Like, is it $5,000 a month? Is it $2,000 a month? Like, what's an average spend for somebody that's, has a successful business?
$3,000 a month is usually the starting point.
Okay.
And that'll usually be a little bit of Facebook retargeting, mostly search ads because it's direct response. They need leads now.
Yep.
So we're trying to solve the problem now, not create problems in the future. And then once that starts working, then we scale it up. But every time we work with the customer, we use the ad budget simulator because it'll tell us exactly in their market what to spend. So finding that average is a report away.
Yeah. Now, is there a point of no return if they just say, listen, I want more leads, and you're like, look, it's just not there?
Yes. And so typically when that happens is they've maxed out the ads in those areas. So they've done everything and they're maintaining. That's a very real thing. We have a moving company that is doing literally everything you can possibly do, but they're growing and they keep growing. And so from there, it's the opportunity to expand into different markets is where that starts happening.
So at some point, there's only whatever it is, 1% to 3% of people looking at that already need that service.
Yeah.
And at some point, there's no more eyeballs to get to.
Correct.
That are interested in moving.
Correct.
So now you have to move to new eyeballs.
Correct. And the best way to do that, coming soon in the SplashDash, is BuildX looks into a new market and it says, hey, there's no ADU businesses here. Here's where you should go.
Got it.
So that's something that we're working on building right now, so that users can see which market to go into based on the competition.
So the mover says to you, listen, I love what I'm doing. I love what you're doing. I feel like you're saying to me, listen, there's just no more.
Correct.
There's no more eyeballs to get. There's only a finite amount of people that need moving in this market. Mm-hmm. You're going to do a market study and say to me, you should move. You should open up a second location here.
Correct. And here's why. There's high population, a lot of homeowners, and there's no moving companies.
Or limited competition, or the competition there has terrible reviews, whatever that is.
Exactly.
Wow. It is crazy. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I go back to the putting ads in the paper. Mm-hmm. I go back to selling blown-in insulation in 1982 in Dorchester, mm-hmm. and we had a robo dialer it was basically a cassette machine, and I don't even remember how it worked, but it literally would dial every phone number in an area code, and it would say, do you need installation? Press 1, and the people would say, they press 1, and they would say, yeah, this is Jimmy Jones at blah blah blah, address 617, whatever, and then they would hang up. And this thing ran. This is before they outlawed that stuff,
right?
And it literally was a piece of machinery, literally dialing calls. You're making calls.
Wow.
With a recorded message.
Genius.
Yeah. So this is, 81, 82.
I'm surprised they had that.
Yeah, no, it was the owner of the business was like, he paid a lot of money for it. I don't remember what it was. But they were good leads. And then I would go make, we'd call and confirm the appointment. And then we would go to the appointment. And we had a bank at the time that was open. A local credit union was open till 10 p.m. at night, and they had a home financing branch in it. And you would literally call a phone number. You'd be in the person's house and say, okay, you want to spend $3,000 on blown-in installation. You would hand the phone. You'd tell them your bank, your business number, and you would hand the phone to the people, and they would qualify them over the phone.
Wow. It's just different forms of technology.
And then the person would hand the phone back to you, and the person would tell you whether they're being approved or denied.
Wow.
And if they approved, you were happy. If they were denied, you'd have to tell the people they denied. So that got a little awkward sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And this was before we didn't have the ability to take credit cards. It was, I don't even know if it was a thing, but it wasn't, we didn't have that ability.
Uh-huh. So you had to go meet them where they were at, or have them mail something in?
No, yeah, you were in the house.
Oh,
this was in-home sales. You were in the house measuring, and you were in there at 6 o'clock at night. And then we did a thing called the 5 around, where we'd, hey, can you introduce me to your 5 neighbors?
Smart.
Yeah, and then you would go knock on the 5 doors and say, hey, I was just at Paul's house, and he's doing blown installation. You have a similar house. Would you like me to look?
Yeah, that's some of the roofing companies and solar companies are going hard on that right now.
Yeah, the fiber. Well, they call it something else now, but
Yeah.
But back then we called it the fiber rounds. So interesting. So it was way before internet or anything else, and even before dial-up, I guess, back then. But that's how we got the leads. It was a manual dialer.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how it worked, but
It worked.
it did. And then it shut off like a switch because the energy prices went way down and nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just amazing to me. Yeah, it would be amazing to you. You go to these houses that are, 50 years old and there's no insulation in the house.
That's crazy.
Nothing in the attic, nothing in the walls. And you're like, this is mind-boggling.
For now, it is, right? Now.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, you'd think you'd be so uncomfortable in it.
I know.
Right.
Drafts coming in. This house is freezing.
Yeah. But not like zero. It was built with no insulation.
That's crazy.
Not even in the attic. I mean, I could see the walls, I guess, but
Yeah.
not in the attic. But I don't know how we got on that subject. But I guess in the early days of marketing is how we got there.
Yeah.
So we've now come to AI. So where do you see AI helping Develomark? Besides SplashDash, what other tools are you using inside there to make your customers more money?
Well, so the first thing is getting more efficiency per every employee. Revenue per employee is very important, as you know, for equity.
For your company.
Correct.
Yeah.
And for their company too. And so little things like people used to have to do, respond to their Google reviews, respond to their Facebook reviews, publish 55 pages at once, targeting a town. So 80, you home builder, give me a town in the area, Plymouth. Doing that across the state at one click. Those kinds of things have allowed us to keep a smaller staff and ultimately increase the revenue per customer and increase their results too. So I see it going into a place where everybody has an AI agent, and that AI agent helps them do their work, which is probably happening with your team right now.
100%.
Yeah. Right? Like I came in here and there was already wording to be said. A lot of that's being done with AI. So we all have these agents. So I think in the future, we're not going to have a lot of people. There's going to be small dynamic teams that can get a lot done, which is going to make the economy better for everybody because they're going to get more value for their dollar. It's going to create new types of jobs.
Yeah, so it's going to go, like we talked about last night, it's going to go one way or the other, right? Right. So if you're a glass half full, it just accelerates everybody.
Yep.
If you're glass half empty, there's a whole bunch of people sitting around staring out the window because they don't have a job.
Complaining. Yep.
Yeah. So.
And you can't help those people with anything you do, right?
Yeah, agreed to a certain degree, but it's definitely going to be an interesting next 3 or 4 years for sure.
Yeah.
But like I say to everybody here, we're just going to do what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go build stuff and make sure we're building a good product, and we, staying, keeping an eye on what's going on. But there's only so much you can control, right?
Yeah, you want to get away from trends, like sustainability is what's most important.
Yeah.
AI is not going to build an AVU, and it's going to help you, but it's not going to do all the work. So it's your agent. It's really your companion. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I have seen a lot in like creative spaces, creative discussions with other artists and designers is there's two buckets of people. There's the people who are embracing artificial intelligence and turning it into a part of their workflow to help systemize things, to, just speed things up and be able to have more output. And there's the people who are completely against it and are just, this is taking away from what we do. I understand both sides of it, but I feel like you need to be able to embrace it and become that person who is as productive as you could be if you want to be able to get past what you're talking about, where, there could be these potentials for, okay, this person didn't want to use AI. They don't know how to use AI. They're now, unfortunately, much less productive than somebody who's familiar with it. Right. So, those are the people who are afraid to embrace it that are ultimately going to be left behind.
Yeah, I was an early adopter. I in the early chat, I don't remember how I got exposed to it, and I started playing around with it. And I said to my daughter, it was before I even started BuildX, or it was very early in it. And I said, this is, you can either fight against it or you can figure out how to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and
Exactly.
with all things technology, fighting against it is usually counterproductive.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You can only say, oh, that's garbage for so
It's a
long.
fad, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we need to talk about? We good?
Well, think about it. So for BuildX, right, if you're going to hire a company,
Yeah.
are you going to hire an AI-enabled company or a company that's doing things that we've always been doing it the same way?
Yeah, no, 100%.
AI-enabled is a little cheaper too, but that doesn't mean the value is lower.
Yeah. Again, but as you said, it's the person behind the machine asking the questions and seeing the strategy and knowing empirically what to do. And, we've done it this way before and we know it works. We have the data. We can mine the data. And then I can direct you and say, this is how we used to do it. This is how we've pivoted. We have empirical data to show you that it's going to work. We can know based on these metrics that something's going to happen. And that's that secret sauce that, you guys bring to the table. You can look at a graphic and say, okay, someone's going to look at this and click the call to action. You can look at the system and say, okay, this is going to cause this many leads to appear.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the part for now that can't be until you get connected to the neural net.
Yeah, and I don't know if people are going to do that. I don't know. We'll see. That's the adoption that I'm curious to see how that's going to play out.
Neuralink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would make life so much easier. I can think and it starts texting. Yeah, that's nice.
We're just going full Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave off with one more thing. So, most people make decisions after traumatic events, after life events, after
They generally wait too long.
correct.
Yep.
And so you can't predict when somebody's going to get married. You can't predict when somebody's going to get cheated on. You can't predict when somebody's going to die. You just can't. So you always need to be visible. And so a lot of the customers we were talking about in Connecticut, they spend millions of dollars on these billboards, millions of dollars on these ads. They are not trying to just think about a lead. They're making sure that they're there when somebody needs them.
Yeah.
So keep advertising. And the good thing about Facebook, as you guys are doing, it is very visual. You're going out to get them. You're fishing.
Yeah.
But you also have to be there when there's search. So I'd love to see you guys start using Google Ads in the future.
I just don't believe in them, but we can have that conversation.
Well, they're $1 billion company from their ads, so they work.
I'm not disputing they are making a lot of money on it. That's for sure. That's not, I'm not going to dispute that. All right, we're going to the lightning round. So I'm going to ask a question. You both have to give me an answer.
All right, let's do it.
Okay? So favorite tool you can't live without. I'm going to go Paul first and then Lou.
Mine's kind of a given. It's a knife.
There you go.
Interesting.
A Paul knife.
I went to a physical tool.
Yeah, I thought you.
No, it can be any tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of your own design knives.
Yeah, a little product placement there again. Yeah.
Mine is Duda.
Duda.
Yeah.
Which is what?
It's where we make our websites.
Okay. All right. And, well, we've talked a lot about this, but final question, if you will. Industry trends you've noticed. Like top of mind. And you can do with knives if you want.
Top of mind. Let me think about that for a second. One of the things that I've noticed is consumers who are being exposed to ads are getting a lot more savvy on what is written by AI. And I think people are latching onto that a lot. We actually did a competition a couple of years ago when GPT first started kind of getting bigger, where we had, how many people? We had like 100 people come to our office and see if they could figure out if text was or was not generated by AI. We turned into a whole competition. It was really fun. There's a video on it.
They could not.
And they could not at that time. But now, I mean, it's almost always a giveaway. Like M dashes have become just this staple of this was probably written by AI, which is interesting.
What's an ad?
That big dash between the text.
Yeah. So
that's a giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
But you can can you tell chat not to do that?
yes. So yeah, you could just say don't use M dashes, and that's what I do.
But I care about this person.
Yeah, right. But that's one of the things I think from like a trend standpoint is people are getting more just aware of things that are done by artificial intelligence. Yeah. Some people are very against it. I see even like musicians are releasing new albums or new merchandise, and they're like, "Oh, this was done with AI. Like, screw this band or screw this company or whatever." So you got to be able to use it in a way that you're still able to kind of express your creativity, and in a way that's still going to ultimately become something the consumer likes, because there's a lot of anti-AI content out there that I think is important to pay attention to.
Yeah.
The trend that I see is if you have an opinion, you're going to do better. You're going to alienate 50%, but you're going to get a lot stronger 50%.
You can't be everything to everybody.
Correct.
That's a major mistake companies make.
Correct.
Just have to be who you are.
Yeah. Have an opinion.
Yeah.
And say it.
Yeah. You have to stand for something or you'll stand for anything.
Exactly.
It's the end of the day, right?
Yep.
Dream project you'd love to work on.
Mine would be to be an ADU consultant at BuildX.
Well, maybe we'll make your dreams come true.
I think for me, it would be some form of high government position in digital. That would be interesting for me. Like if Donald Trump called me and said, "Hey, you're the right guy to find out this information. We need you at the White House." I think that would keep me up for days, probably months. You know, I would just get rid of everything, and I was like, "Okay, bye. What do you need?" You know.
All right, Donald, if you're listening, we got a guy ready to go. All right, what do you got, Paul?
For me,
Dream project.
dream project for me right now that I think is attainable is I want to go like full OEM with a knife project, because right now everything is just licensed and I give them to companies, they produce it, but I do want to take that next step where it's, you know, it's not a collaboration, it's just my brand and I handle it and I do just distribution, warranty, and all that stuff, because there's much better margins in that. But
Sure.
yeah, stretch goal.
Well, all you need is a CNC machine and a way to program it, and you're in business.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Yeah. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
I know mine. Do you know yours?
I don't yet. No, I had to think.
Mine is all of the old adages you've heard are true. If they stand at the test of time and people keep saying them, it genuinely means they're true.
All right. I like that one.
For me, I feel like it's everything that we do, us specifically, with our industries, is not life or death. So it's okay to take your time to make sure you're doing things the right way. Because I used to be, and sometimes still am, very all over the place, because, you know, this person needs to be communicated with, this project needs to be managed and stuff. So it's not life or death. And it's okay to take your time and make sure that you're actually doing the right thing instead of just something quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the slogans I use a lot. You know, we're not saving babies and curing cancer. Like, let's slow down and figure this thing out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Advice you would give your younger self? You guys are still pretty young, but.
Mine would be, don't smoke marijuana. Don't consume as much alcohol. Have a plan and a purpose and understand the purpose, and do better in school.
All right.
Cut and dry.
Yeah.
Very simple.
I feel like mine's probably pretty similar, but I think it would just be like, keep going in the direction that you're going, because I was doing a lot of creative pursuits. I had a lot of people saying it's not going to work. And I had a lot of times where I was like, just give it up and start focusing on something else, but just keep doing that, I think, would be my advice. And less of those.
Because you knew early on what you were doing. I did not. Like, you were always creative.
I always knew that I wanted to do something creative, but I never knew what it was going to be. So I was kind of and I still have my hands in a lot of different things, but like, you know, there's a lot of people that were just like, you know, give up, do something else. I do a lot of music and things too. And like, for a while, that was my passion. And then art and drawing and graphic design.
That's what it goes all around creative stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All creative stuff. So just keep staying focused.
All right. Some fun stuff. Favorite food and dessert?
I
know what yours is going to be.
I know what mine is. I love sushi.
Sushi?
I could eat.
Really? I would not.
Really?
I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's great.
What about the dessert?
The dessert. That's a little tougher. I really like apple pie a la mode. We get with the ice cream on there. That is a nice
Vanilla
combination.
ice cream?
Vanilla on the apple pie.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's
Any particular brand of vanilla?
I usually, like, my favorite is just going to some place like local to get
Okay.
ice cream. Yeah.
All right.
I love like homemade.
Yeah.
There's a couple really good places near us.
I'd go filet mignon, steak, and then I would go for dessert, coconut.
Coconut?
Yeah. Anything coconut.
Really?
Coconut cake, coconut itself. Anything coconut.
All right. I haven't had that one either yet. If you could have dinner with anyone alive or dead, who would it be?
Donald Trump, for me.
Okay.
Oh man.
Or Elon Musk. Either or.
Rick Rubin
Rick Rubin would be good.
for me. Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
And final question. If you had $10 million to donate, who or whom would you donate it to?
For me, I would like it to go to some form of cancer research. My mom had breast cancer when I was really young.
Yeah.
She's good now, but you know, that was something that definitely shaped a lot of things about me, like not having siblings and
Sure.
you know, just
Yeah.
anxieties in the family. So that is something that I'm definitely passionate about.
I would probably send it over to the town that I live in, so they can build better things with it and contribute to the construction projects going on, build a nicer pool in the local community, probably something like that.
So that's interesting. So it's interesting how your business focus is so local. It's unusual for digital marketing. Most people think of digital marketing, do it anywhere.
Yeah, we had a sales call the other day, and they were, we're doing Zoom interviews, and I was like, if I can't come see you, then just don't even think about us, because that's where we shine.
Yeah, 100%. No, I like it. That focus. All right, well, that's a wrap for today's episode of the BuildX Podcast. Thanks to Ruan and Paul from SplashDash for joining us. Please subscribe and like and share if you've enjoyed it. See you next week. And remember, guys, just build, baby.
Just build, baby.
Thanks for having us on.